All right, let's move on to question number 2. How quickly can the new look receiving core gel? All right. While the defense deals with departures, the offense is defined by new arrivals. The Packers needed a consistent speed element, especially with Christian Watson recovering from a torn ACL. To address this, they broke a 23-year streak by drafting wide receiver Matthew Golden in the first round. With the reported 4.29 40 time, Golden is expected to be the immediate deep threat Jordan Love has been missing. The team also added veteran speedster Mecole Hardman and versatile third-round pick Savon Williams from TCU. Williams is a creative chess piece for Coach Matt LaFleur's playbook. The offensive success hinges on how quickly these new pieces gel. Their development is paramount. And I think first and foremost, Tim, Matthew Golden, right?
Yeah.
How quickly can you get him up to speed? Now, if you're just going to put him in the Z and you keep Jayden Reed in the F, you don't have to worry about him having to learn all of the different choice routes that are embedded in Matt LaFleur's offense. So if that's the case, then to me, that seems like the quick answer. Romeo Doubs is one of your best wide receivers. I think we would all agree when he's healthy, right? And the concussions, they are an issue. But if you
I just caught the ball.
well, I think you put Romeo Doubs at the boundary X, you put Matthew Golden at the Z, and you keep him there and let him master that Z position with Christian out. And then you'll have, like we said, Jayden Reed in the F. And if you're wondering, what do you mean, Clayton, by the F position having to learn those choice routes? So the F is the mover, right? He's the mover in this offense, meaning he's the guy who's doing 90% of the motion on plays. So when he's motioning, whether he goes from right to left or left to right, when he gets to that side of the field, there's going to be choice routes baked into Matt LaFleur's offense. And what we mean by choice routes is reading the defense. If the corner sinks to 12 yards, you turn it into a hitch. If the corner meets you at a 7-yard break, give him a double move and hit him with a post. Yeah. And you and the quarterback have to be on the same page, reading what the defense is doing and react in real time. So if you've got someone playing the F, which is essentially the slot receiver in Matt LaFleur's offense that's moving a lot, doing a lot of the cheap motion, you've got to know those choice routes. With Matthew Golden being so young, don't throw all that on him yet, Tim.
Yeah.
Just put him out to Z, learn the choice routes there. And you know what? If he picks it up like a young stud should, then you start to work him in.
Start working him in, yeah.
Go, yeah. So
that's so true. Like, it'll be interesting to see how they approach this, right? Because you don't want to like not give them enough or sell them short. You want to see what the kid can do, right? But in the same sense, there's nothing wrong with learning from a guy like Jayden Reed, right? And just easing your way into that sort of role, especially when you point out the fact that we're missing Scoot. So what better time than now when we're down one of our top receivers to put Matt Golden in an opportunity like that to just become a seasoned professional at his pace,
Yeah, couldn't agree more, man. Holmes MD1, I watched some Golden tape today. He's a really good young player, man. He's a blast to watch. Really, really. I mean, he's, as Jordan Love said, in just a little bit of time in minicamp and rookie minicamps that he got to work with him and everything, he said this dude's polished. Ron Sample said, I heard Golden asked his favorite routes, choice routes for some of his favorites. They definitely have a choice routes baked in to Steve Sarkisian's offense down in Texas. There's no two ways about that. That's what made Quinn Ewers so valuable, and everybody was excited about it because he's that veteran quarterback. If you guys don't know about Quinn Ewers, not to talk too much college ball here, but Quinn Ewers turned down a reported $6 to $8 million in NIL money to return to college. He said, nope, I'm going to the pros, and he fell to the 7th round. He's making less than $1 million this year. So that's how valuable he was seen at the college level because he has that veteran leadership and that awareness in Steve Sarkisian's offense. Now, there was reports that I think Duke was after him. Notre Dame was reportedly after him, but that pretty much got squashed real quick with all the Notre Dame insiders, which shout out to Jermichael Finley. His son signed with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish today for the 2026 class. Kid's already 6'2" going into his senior year in high school, and he looks even better than his dad, man. One of those high elite recruits. But anyway, I know Tim and I are very excited about that being Irish fans. So,
sure.
But yeah, as far as Golden, man, it's going to be fun to see how he comes into the fold here. 2-0 for this says Golden's putting in the work both on and off the field. He's going to be solid. I completely agree. Tim, have you seen some of his posts on social media?
Yeah.
Just out there on the grind, and then when he's not on the grind, guess what? He's just back home in Texas serving the community. Pretty cool, man.
Yeah, buying kids shoes, working with the youth programs, things like that. And then, yeah, it's either that or he's grinding. I mean, it shouldn't surprise us, right? This is the guy on draft night that, puts his hat on, meets the fans, and then immediately looks at Goody and says, "Can I work out? How do I get in the facility to work out?" So it doesn't surprise me. And if you look at some of the tape that you've seen, at least to me, man, the first thing that always jumps out besides the speed and the hands is just the route running ability for a rookie receiver to run that compressed, that condensed, not waste a lot of motion. He's just fun to watch. So it'll be cool to see him at full game speed. Can't wait for that first preseason game against the Jets. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Randy Cleaver says there is going to be some hard choices come cut downs for the receiver room. Man, you're not kidding. I mean, we just spent whatever it was, 5-10 minutes talking about Matthew Golden. Christian Watson, obviously, when he comes back from the ACL, you're looking to work him right back into the offense, especially if he's showing he's ahead of schedule, whether it's late October, early November when he's back on the field. But, Tim, you've also got Mecole Hardman, who it sounds like he's impressed the first couple practices. I have a feeling we're going to be hearing his name in training camp a lot.
Yeah.
One-handed grabs already. What was him and Jordan Love had a 70-yard touchdown pass in practice. Granted, I know they wasn't in full pads and hitting and everything, but he's just kind of been one of those dudes that I don't look at that and go, man, he's going to be awesome because he caught a touchdown pass in practice. Tim, what I make a mental note of is Jordan Love's really making an effort to try to get on the same page with Mecole Hardman. And to me, man, that could be the difference maker for that combo.
I agree. We know why we brought him in, right? Obviously. I think he's going to show all of us why he's going to stay. And I fully believe that he's going to make this 53. I think it's going to be a tough, cut down at the receiver position in general with all this talent. But I don't know, man. I think there's a pretty good case for him staying just because, we talk about the leadership, the guy's a champion, we've been down that road. We know that, but it's also the versatility as a player, as both a receiver and in the special teams game. It's just he brings so much to the table. And then if you combine that with the fact that if he's balling out of control and looks good at camp, it's going to be really hard to send that guy packing, man.
Yeah. And as Randy Cleaver says here, get Reed all punt returns and put him there, talking about Mecole Hardman.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
I do not want to see Jaden Reed returning any more punts, man. Let that dude get a breather. Let him be your F. And get someone else ready to play the F. And Bo Melton filled in a little bit last year, but the other outlier there is Dontavion Wicks. He can play the boundary X. He can play the F. Got to fix the drop issues that emerged there in 2023. But, yeah, completely agree there, Randy. Definitely want Jaden Reed off punt returns. The other one here, Tim, is Savon Williams. I mentioned this, guys, because when we took Luke Musgrave in the second round and we took Tucker Kraft in the third round, I was over the moon with Luke Musgrave, right? I was like, this dude's going to be awesome, right? And Tucker Kraft, well, he's raw, small school, got a ton of natural ability. What happened? Now, injuries played a role. Luke Musgrave, getting banged up, but boy, Tucker Kraft just took tight end one from him. Who's to say that Savon Williams doesn't do that to Matthew Golden? And I'm not saying I want it to be one way or the other, Tim, but that's why you take two swings at a position of need, right? Exactly. And again, I don't think Savon is a perfect fit to play Z. And this is Greg Cosell 101, the film guru. When you look to add a piece to the puzzle that is your National Football League, football team, whether it's the Packers or whatever team, it's not just, okay, this guy's going to play receiver. It's where are you going to use them in terms of deployment? Feels like Matthew Golden more of a Z. Savon might be that dude they try to work into the F and possibly a little X as well, right, depending on how well his route running looks in training camp, Tim, because the reality is they didn't give him a whole lot of that at TCU because they were making him play wildcat quarterback. He was lining up in the backfield as a running back. And when he did run routes, there was times where he cooked people.
I agree. And, Jacob brought that up a couple shows ago himself, saying that he has this kind of feeling that, it might be Savon Williams that is the rookie receiver that steps up in year one and really, really shows out. I think it'd be a great problem to have if him and Matt Golden turned out to be incredible. That would be great, but we have to be patient with our rookies, right? And I think you're right. Some of this might be foreign to a guy like Savon Williams who, is going to probably be asked to be a receiver now, and that's what he's here to play, right? And it's good that Matt's got, Coach LaFleur's got a guy like Savon Williams in this offense because he's a guy with the versatility factor. You can mold him. You can figure out what kind of role you want him to have in your offense. And I think nobody better than Matt LaFleur to do that. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Definitely. Rob Westerman in the chat said, would love to see Savion get hot right off the bat. That'd be absolutely. And you know what's going to happen if that happens, Rob? The rest of that receiving core is going to raise their game a little bit, right? Rising tide raises all ships, that whole thing, right? Iron sharpens iron, all the cliches that we hear. It's absolutely huge, man. If the third rounder comes out and just who's to say he's not the stud in this class? It could be, man. It could be, for sure. So if you guys are not following Rob on YouTube, he's got an awesome channel here as well. Make sure you go check out GBP Daily. Look for that logo right there and just type in GBP Daily on YouTube. Rob, if you want to plug it here in the chat too, man, if you got the exact YouTube channel name, it may be that, it may not, but you guys make sure you're subbed to his channel. All right. We appreciate you swinging through, Rob, for sure. Let's move on to number 3. To actually while we're on number 2, let's just look real quick at the PFF grades. Mecole Hardman last year, 72.8. Jaden Reed, 71.7. Christian Watson, 70. We get a Christian Watson chalk talk ready to go. We're going to hold it for tomorrow, I believe. Really, really cool breakdown of his tomorrow, some of his top plays from last year. Romeo Dobbs, 69.7. Dontavion Wicks, 65.1. Bo Melton, 63.2. Malik Heath, 62.9. And, of course, Savon Williams, Matthew Golden haven't played a snap in the league. So, for me, Tim, when you look at this, one thing that sticks out, Dontavion Wicks had a drop issue. Just like Jaden Reed cleaned it up on the back half of the season. Still graded out as a 65.1. That is not bad. That's not a bad PFF grade. It's kind of average across the league, right? Yeah. And you say, okay, we want better than average. I got you. I understand. But Dontavion Wicks was a later round pick. It's not like, like Jaden Reed's second round pick, 71.7. Christian Watson, second round pick, 70. That's what you're looking for, right? The big overachiever here is Romeo Dobbs, 69.7.
That's my dude right there. I know a lot of people think Rome is trade bait, and maybe he is. Who knows? But I still think he's one of the top receivers we have in this now more crowded than ever receiving room that we have. And to your point about Tay Wicks, you're right. Like, even with the issues he had, he still graded out fairly well. And we as fans know what he's capable of. We know what we saw in his rookie year. We know that.